And again, for those who don't know, Sanskrit names are given when people are asked for them so that they can live up to that name. Become, that's what they actually are. You see, a lot of us come with what we're supposed to be, but we get so wrapped up in what we think we should be, what people think we should be, what the world thinks we should act like, that we give up that which is us. We give up the most important gift that we have. Oh, you're okay. And we give up the original part of us to be something else or someone else. So we forget. So when a name is given, it's like to remind you, look, you're meant to be victorious, a goddess that brings joy and victory wherever she goes. So each name is chosen for something that you are, but maybe forgotten that you are. Yeah? Forgotten that you are. So trust yourselves more. And today's topic is make peace your God. And this was the one of the most precious things I ever heard in my life. Because like all of us, you know, God, where is God? What is God? Who is God? Is there a force? Is there energy? We give it so many names. So many names. Excuse me, do you have a chair?
There's one there.
Oh, yeah?
There's one at the back.
Oh, there's one there next to Sam. Yeah. Oh, there's one here too. Okay, you're welcome. You're welcome. No, it's okay. And so, you know, what is God? Who is God? And we all have our visions, you know. And in the Bhagavad Gita, it tells us it's so difficult, you know. I'd like to read something to you. Can I read it before we continue with this? Because it is really beautiful. And chapter 12, Yoga of Devotion, and the Living Gita.
You want to get the book? Or not? Separate last week.
No. Which devotees are better established in yoga? Remember, the word yoga means union. Union with your higher self. Whatever you call God. Those of steady devotion who worship you manifest in one form or another, or those who worship you as a formless and unmanifest state. So here Arjuna is asking Lord Krishna, which is a representative of the divine energy, you know, which way is better which devotee is better? One that devotes themselves to you in a form, or one who devotes themselves to you in a formless state? Which one is better? I don't know. He's very confused at this point. Because Arjuna is having to fight the battle of life. And he doesn't want to battle. But he has no choice. So he's trying to get his head around all this. You know, there is a God, how should it be? And which is a better way? Like we all do, which is a better way? Is this way better or is that way better? All the confusion that lives in our minds. And then Lord Krishna answers him. Those devotees who continuously think of me with zeal, with sincerity, and thus steadily worship me, manifest in one form or another, are perfectly established in yoga. In other words, he's saying here, you choose. If you want to worship me in one form or another form, it's the same. You can also be established in yoga. No difference. So this is why I love this, truth is one, parts are many. Because some people see this God as a manifestation in Lord Jesus. Some will see it in Swami Satchidananda. Some people see it in Iyengar. Some people will see it in Mother Teresa. But some people will see it in the clouds. It doesn't matter. It's a form. It's so long as it's done, he says, with sincerity and zeal. Doesn't matter. Just be sincere about who you are. Fill your heart with sincerity. And he says, and what of those who worship me in the unmanifest condition? beyond name and form, infinite, indescribable, beyond the grasp of the mind, yet everywhere present, unchanging, immovable, and eternal. So through such worship, they quiet their senses, become even-minded, and naturally think of the welfare of all other creatures. Certainly, such devotees also come directly to me. And here he's saying, when you worship the divine, unmanifested, untouchable, everywhere, what happens to you? Over a period of time, if it's everywhere, if it's manifested and unmanifested, it's indescribable. What happens? You start to realize, everywhere? What does that mean? Everything? What does that mean? Nowhere? What does it mean? And then you start to question, where is it then? Then you say it's everywhere. And there's no competition. There's no God who loves you more or me less. Do you see? There's no competition in this love. There's no competition in this everywhere. It's everywhere. So we have this competitive spirit in spirituality, which is so not spirituality. This is why when we work together as one unit, we feel so happy. We feel so happy because we know deep inside, we all come from there. We all know this. And it is only man that separates, thoughts that separate us. So he's saying that what happens eventually when you practice this and ask yourself this, you start to quiet, the senses become quiet. Because when are your senses not quiet? Think about it. When you think somebody's better than you, or you're not good enough, or you did this wrong, or you did that wrong. But when you think it's all its will, it's all its form, it's all its name, and it's all its deed. In other words, it's all thy will be done. When you think like that, you lose all your attachment and fear and worries. You just lose them. And then you become even-minded. You become even-minded. Certainly, such devotees also come directly to me. But those who seek me as the unmanifest choose a little bit more difficult way, because it is very hard for one in the body to reach that goal. The devotees nearest to me are those who renounce attachment to the fruits of their actions, and instead offer them all to me, who desire me above everything else, and who through yogic practices meditate on me with a one-pointed mind. Such devotees, Arjuna, whose minds are thus fixed on me, very soon experience me as their deliverer from samsara, the illusory drama of life and death. So, what he's saying is, yes, you can worship me in both ways, whatever way you choose. And but no, it's very difficult. Thank you, Steve. Maybe one less. It's a bit bright. Yeah, that's it. Better. And is it? But no, it's more difficult because for one who has a mind, and you know we all have a mind. The mind likes to grasp onto something. If you say it's everything, the mind finds it very difficult to do. This is why people go into religions and different streams. Know that you take a difficult way. This is why there's so very few on this path. Because we choose a more difficult way. We choose a way that we're telling people, hey, truth is one, paths are many. And people find that uncomfortable. Because the security of one religion, or this is right and that is wrong, gives them human power. And in our search, we're not looking for this. We are searching for something far greater, because we have seen, all of us, what human power does to our world, what ego does to our world. what ego destroys how many people, how many homes, how many wars are fought because of this. So we choose a very difficult path. It's not easy, because we're always constantly having to take ourselves out of the box. This is right, this is wrong, you are bad, you are good. We go beyond this. Shanti, can you put up one of the heaters? It's really hot. Are you getting too hot? There, are you fine? Yeah? Are you hot?
You okay?
You okay?
Yeah,
it's just this. Are you okay if I switch that off? I was getting so hot here. And so you see, we constantly have to work beyond the mind and conditioning. And this is what Lord Krishna is telling Arjuna. Of course, if you worship that way, the intellectual process and the spiritual process in the heart is working at a much higher energy vibration. And that's why most people can't do it. That's why most people need a religion. And because they can't do it. They need this is wrong and that is right. But in the wrongness and rightness, they suffer. They're never peaceful. So this is why when Gurudev said one day, and I was saying, okay, so what do? I read the Gita, etc. Still, my feeling of God was unmanifest. It was totally, I had realized that, because I'd seen what religions do to people. But I still needed a concept or something that I could hold on to because of the mind. And then one day, Gurudev said, in a satsang in the States, I remember, and he said, make peace your God. Do not even allow God to disturb your peace. And then I go, it just clicked. It just clicked. If I have peace, when you have peace, when you all have peace, how do you feel? You have everything. You are content. You are happy. You're in the moment. When you are very peaceful. And I don't know if you I have this all the time. You know, Sunday I was fixing my whole house spring cleaning, only to have Gaia destroy it all again on Monday. When I was there, put on classical music, full blast, and it was just such a beautiful feeling of everything was so peaceful. There was nothing I wanted, just happy to wash and clean and take out the dust from the corners and clean, just so peaceful. And I was just like in a state of bliss all day. And I thought, this is what it is. This peace is God. I feel so close to God in this peace. And then you can do everything in the moment. Do you know? What a wonderful day. I had a fabulous day, but what did I do? At the end of it was just clean. And I felt so good. And cook and listen to music and feel God in tunes and, you know, in Bach and Beethoven and Rachmaninoff. And I just go, this is just really quite cool, isn't it? I'm having the best day ever. And that peace, you just want to say, God, I love you so much. I just love you so much. Thank you for love. You just want to say it. Don't you have days like that? And then that's, for me, God on earth. That's as far as I think we humans can do it. Because we have a body, and when we keep this mind really quiet, and it's really quiet when it's in peace. So whatever interpretations you want to put to God is really up to us, so long as it doesn't disturb that peace. And then I clearly saw when he said those words, make peace your God. Don't even allow God to disturb your peace. And I see so many people, in the name of God, destroy others' peace. And the first commandment in the Bible is, thou shalt not take the name of thy Lord, thy God, in vain. And so many people do it, and so many traditions, all traditions we do it. We use God for our benefit. There is a wonderful Sanskrit story And it's about this monk, the Swami. We call a monk Swami. They wear orange robes in our tradition. And he had a beautiful garden. And everybody used to come and admire the garden, say, "What a beautiful gardener, you're so good with your hands." He goes, "Yes, yes, I'm very good. I work very hard. I'm so good with gardening." A few days later, his neighbor, who has a cow, the cow escapes from his garden and goes to this monk's garden and tramples over all the flowers. And the monk comes out so upset. "How dare you, cow? How dare you, cow?" and starts beating the cow. When the neighbor comes in, we say, "Swami, Swami, Swami, why have you beaten my cow? You say everything is God. How could you beat my cow?" He said, "Don't you know? These flowers, I did them with so many hours of work, so God told me to beat your cow because he destroyed my work." So the man next door, he's a monk, I must respect him. Keep quiet, he goes home. And then he hears a voice, "Oh, my son, when the flowers are beautiful, it's your work. When you hit someone, it's my work. Are you really my child?" Do you see how people use God? So when you use the word peace, it actually simplifies the whole feeling of divine energy. Peace. And the Upanishads use another word that is very beautiful, the Lord of Love. They constantly doesn't use the word God at all. It uses the word self with a capital S, and it uses the word Lord of Love constantly. But again, in this era, love is so misunderstood. The love it speaks about in the Upanishads is beyond words, it's beyond judgment. It's beyond judgment. And here he says, the devotee that comes closest to me are one that gives up the fruits of their action. It says it there. And what does that mean? Whatever you do, it's divine. And you give it all back. Good, bad, you give it all back. Sometimes when people say, "Oh, I don't know, I did so many prayers, God didn't listen to me." I said, "Well, accept that God's not listening to you. Give it back." And ask God, "God, you're not listening to me. Have it back. Don't expect anything. Sit down. Don't struggle. Don't struggle. Don't struggle." Because, for example, we have visions of how things should be. We all have goals. And is it wrong to have goals? Never. It is wonderful to have a goal. But you don't have a goal unless you're meant to succeed in it or you're meant to do it. You have this thing and it's meant to happen. But I've seen many people with goals, and what they do is they want their goal to happen the way they want it to happen. And I have learned in my life it never does. Haven't you? The other day, somebody came to see me, a very wonderful human being with great dreams, and very, very talented in her own right, wonderful person. And she told me, "I have been offered this incredible job with this incredible wage. But since I've got this offer, I feel very, very, very uncomfortable." I said, "Why? You haven't slept for 3 nights. And I go, "Why?" She said, "Because this job will offer me a lot of money. And my dreams are to build this place, this nice place where I can help lots of people, mothers who are in trouble, who have special needs children, etc., etc. And that's my dream." Oh, lovely, beautiful dream. She showed me drawings, what she visualized. Wonderful. Fantastic. Do you have money? No, not to build that. So, how do you expect to get the money? Well, I'm just hoping that God will make it happen. And I go, God works through what? Who does God work through? Does God have hands? Does God have legs? No. So, who does God work through? All of us. Correct. So, you are sitting here with this beautiful drawing of what's going to happen in your life, and wait. And who's going to do the walking and working for you? And I said, besides, this job is offering you a lot of money and is going to promote you in your work. You never know who will walk through those doors and fall in love with your dreams and support your dreams. Who says it can't come through that? It's more likely to come through that direction than any other direction. I said, but when you go for your interview, when you went for your interview, the first interview, and they've asked you for the second, did you tell your bosses of your ideas? Because they sound like people with very intelligent minds. And suggest that you run workshops there for the special needs mothers who can't afford it. Suggest. And see what happens. She had the interview. Half an hour later, I got the message. She took the job. And guess what? They have accepted all her proposals because they would like to do something to help the world as well. Altruistic, they want to do it. And they feel, being a big company, they can do it through her because she has this wonderful sincerity and zeal. Do you see? And she struggled with it because she felt it was going to come through another way. And she wrote me, thank you. I said, no, just, again, I didn't organize it. You prayed so hard for a sign. Somebody said you were desperate to meet me. I only had this day free and you were going to be in this area. So don't thank me. It's been arranged by the gods. Do you see? And this is what's saying, today it's me. If I wasn't here, it'd be somebody else. She might come to your house, but if you are open to give her that message. And good people always get, if they're not stuck in their vision of what is the truth, this has to be my way. And when you accept that, it will come. I have this dream. It will come. I will do all the things towards it. I'll write the goals, but I don't know which way it will come. This is the surrendering, the fruits of your actions. And I told her, what happens if you don't take this job? You still remain poor. You still go begging bowl. I want to make this. People don't like to help people with begging bowls. Did you know that? When they see you're self-sufficient, when they see you work hard, when they see you have this feeling of wanting, but you work with your hands and feet, they want to help you. They want to help you more and more and more and more. It's interesting how life works, isn't it? It's exciting. And in order to have this vision of things, you need to be peaceful. Because things are not working your way, we lose our peace very quickly, don't we? And then the solutions take a long time to come. A long time to come. But if we can just remember, okay, thy will be done, peace. I'm agitated. Should I do this? Should I do this? Should I do this? I have to make a decision now. If you can't make a decision now, and you're really stuck, and you're like this, and don't make it. You're not ready. You can't. If you're meant to make the decision there and then, you will be ready. You will have the peace. So what do you do in times of this? Thy will be done. You know what? I'm sick and tired of talking about it through my head. No peace, no God, no solution. I can't get anywhere. There's no quiet. Okay, so now, next step. I'm not going to roll it. I want it this way, I want it this way. It's not worked. The goal is that. Guide me. If you want me to do this job, your job to guide me. Your job to give me the peace to know which way to go. You sort me out. Meanwhile, I'll carry on with life happily. And when your mind is peaceful, and when it is happy, a lot of ideas come through. Isn't it true? Isn't it true, like when I was doing my things on listening to classical music and just working, so many ideas came through. Oh, but they're not for me, they're for somebody. I'm not interested in business. It was like, you know, just keep getting lots of beautiful ideas about lots of things. And so make peace your God. So throughout my journey on this spiritual path, and it's very confusing sometimes, isn't it? There's so many paradoxes. And that's exactly spirituality, paradoxes. One, as the Bhagavad Gita tells us, what is nectar in the beginning is poison in the end. What is poison in the beginning is nectar in the end. How many people with drugs? Nectar. In the end, poison. And when they have to stop, it's poison. But it ends up nectar when they have their freedom again. And it also says in the Gita so clearly, one man's nectar is another one's poison. One man's poison is another one's nectar. In other words, you cannot judge. Cannot judge. And I'll tell you a story about judgment that made me learn a lot. Many years ago, I was invited to Germany, to the Black Forest, and to run a retreat for 3 days in a beautiful place in the Black Forest. It was a Buddhist place. And there were quite a lot of people who came to this retreat. Now, this went on for 3 days and the group was really happy. So on the last day, I was going to leave early in the morning. They requested, Nalanie, will you have breakfast with all of us? Now, I knew none of them had coffee. They were all drinking herb teas and whatnot, which was fine. I told my hostess who invited me, I like coffee in the morning, okay? So she arranged coffee in my room for me. So this day, they said, let's all, before you go early, we'll all come down early. We really want to say thank you and sit with you. Okay. I sit on the table with them. They're all having tea. So I look at my hostess and said, oh, do you mind the coffee? There's still some coffee upstairs. Do you mind if I bring it down and have a nice cup of coffee and join you all? The whole room went quiet. Honestly, people have been practicing yoga for like 3 or 4 years. Huh? It went quiet. Oh my God, the wave of judgment that I felt from them. She's a yogi, how come she's doing? I could hear all these things, you know, you can hear things when they're so loud. So I laughed, I said, stop. I said, look at you people. 3 days we've been talking about non-judgment, loving, caring, and you love me so much you want to have breakfast with me to say goodbye. I mentioned the word, I want a coffee, you all freeze, and there's so much judgment. And they said, yes, there is so much judgment. You know, how can you have coffee? And I laughed. I said, you know, you people are too rigid. You read something in a book and you think this is the only way. I said, you're worse than all the religions that you've run away from. You're worse. And I said, in one moment, after 3 days of loving me, look how your mind changed. And I said, besides, let me tell you something. Do you know I'm an asthmatic by birth? No, I didn't know that. Do you know coffee is a wonderful drug for asthmatics? True, Steve? Mm. Because why? It's got it keeps your adrenaline going rather than taking a puff of Ventolin. Caffeine is the best thing. When I had pneumonia in Gibraltar many years ago and I was hospitalized, Gurudev actually called me. I was really shocked. Him calling me in the hospital, I don't know how he even found me in Gibraltar Hospital. And those days the hospital was quite pathetic. Really, they nearly killed me 3 times in that hospital. Nearly. If it wasn't for my husband, I would not be sitting here today. I would be dead. And my daughter. I would be dead. So it was so funny. Gurudev called me. He said, Nalanie, I heard you got pneumonia. Drink coffee. Get some black coffee strong and drink it. And do some Bastrika. Bastrika is a breath that I'll show you later. Is what we did this morning. Bellows breath, because it really takes out the phlegm. And he said, do those two things. And Gurudev, I'm not sure they have coffee in this hospital, but I called my daughter, darling, please, can you bring me some coffee? Gurudev said to drink coffee. So anyway, I told them the story about coffee, and they were so ashamed afterwards. I said, no, don't be ashamed about what you thought about me. Come out with it, tell me. So they started saying, be honest, be truthful. It doesn't bother me. It really is your thoughts, not mine. It's not my thought. But look how it made you feel. Your negative thought from being so happy to... Look how it made you feel. This had to happen to show you that you didn't hear a thing I said the last 3 days. You didn't hear me. I've been talking for 3 days, but you haven't heard a word I said. One thought, a cup of coffee, could disturb your peace. Where is God? What's the point to do all this meditation, pranayama, hatha yoga? In those days I did the whole lot in one day. From 6 to 9 o'clock. I was young, I was only 40-something. You can do that when you're young. I mean, I still can do it, but there's so many better teachers around. So they were, what's the point? If you miss the love and the attachment, you see? If you miss that peace. So I learned from them this great lesson that really how thoughts can take your peace away like this. Like this. So this is why I fall in love with Sri Patanjali and the Bhagavad Gita, because it all goes back to mind stuff. When the mind gets disturbed, your peace is taken. Know that you've been attached to some kind of concept that may have zero existence or zero value, only because somebody has told you and it's taken away your peace. So after that, I kept on telling myself, whenever I was disturbed, make peace your God. The Lord of love, no larger than the thumb, lives in the hearts of all. Deep in the hearts of all, shouts the Gita, is the light of all lights. I used to repeat this to myself. So where is it? In my heart. Where is it? In my mind. So when I am in peace, I'm in God. So when I wasn't at peace, because in the early days I had a lot of struggle, finding God, finding this, and I just, my peace, my God. So I would turn on mantras, go into my prayer room, and I'd start to do karma yoga. Do work with love and expect nothing in return. Don't expect a thank you. Don't expect good or bad. Don't expect and do it for the sake of doing it. And I found that doing things for the sake of it, enjoying it at the moment, gave me a lot of peace. Gave me a lot of peace without thinking, oh, will somebody like it? Or what will they think? Or just doing it for the divine. I'm washing the dishes for you, God. I'm washing the Lord's hair. It doesn't belong to me, you know. Do you know this doesn't belong to me? When I die, I cannot take it. So who does it belong to? The Lord. This is my Guru taught me this. And then one of his disciples, Amma, Italian lady, beautiful, 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 wonderful woman. She's a great devotee of Swami Satchidananda. She used to, one day we were sitting, me, her, and Gurudev in his house, which was a very privileged situation. And Amma said, you know, Gurudev, every day when I put my lipstick on, I'm saying, I'm dressing God. And then I put my eye makeup on, and I'm dressing God. Because this is not me. This is all borrowed from God. And you know, I was sitting there and listening to this, and this was such a beautiful moment, because it was such a truthful moment. Really respecting this as a temple. As St. Paul says, our body is our temple. do not spend too much time on it. Do not spend too little time on it. And when we respect these things, and you respect it in others too, and it gives you a lot of peace and a lot of quiet. So in life, always when you're confused, what do you do? What do you do? What do you say to yourself? Make peace my God. Make peace my God. So, in the early days, people will always convince you that if you want to go your own path, that you're weird, that you're strange, that maybe you got it all wrong. Isn't it true? I'm sure all of you get this. And you must do on this path. People who aren't always get it all the time. You know, get real. You know, get this, get that. And I would just like blinkers. Make peace my God. Make peace my God. So while all those words were coming in from the outside world, I'd look at them. They wouldn't know this. Blessing them. And saying, oh, peace is my God. So whatever you say, enjoy saying it. Not going to disturb me. Not going to you can talk all you want, say what you want. Not going to disturb me. Because peace is my God, and you have come to test my peace. You have come to test me. So keep going, and let me train. Because in the early days, it wasn't so easy. But you train, like you train for running, when you train in a gymnasium, when you train before you do a marathon, you train and you train and you train, and you're training yourself. I prefer to have peace than to be right. In the early days, when I used to talk with my husband, we had big discussions. He's a finance man, I'm an artist. We never could agree. Because he'd see something from this point, and I'd see something from this point. You look at his side of the bed, all about investment, bookkeeping, accounting, fine arts, child psychology, spiritual books. You laugh because it's probably the same with you, right? A lot of us have this. And then I try to always prove my point, and then I go, you know what? Make peace, my God. I have nothing to prove. Nothing to prove. I'd rather have peace than be right. If he really wants to believe it's this way, wonderful. I used to say, interesting. And then I still do it my way. I still do it my way. But interesting. This is your way. Not my way. Interesting. I should think about it. And then because when you let go, peace is my God. That's how you can let go, by making peace your God. Otherwise you can't let go. You want to hang on to being right. The ego is so powerful, it needs to be right all the time. My way is the right. Who's to say which way is right? And then when you let go, peace is my God. Peace is my God, not argument. This is going to be a dead end anyway. We know about this. And then when he was in investments, he taught me so much about God and peace in his own way. He said to me, he showed me a graph one day. He said, when you do financial investments, you look at the graph and it goes like this. And then it goes like this, and it goes like this. And he says, you really have to have a very peaceful, focused, and quiet mind when you put an investment here, and it suddenly goes down. You have to see the bigger picture. So you go back a few months and you see the, what do they call it? The troughs, and there's a word for bull and bear.
Peaks and troughs.
Pardon?
Peaks and troughs.
Yeah, peaks and troughs, yeah. He said, when you're in it and you just look at this, oh my God, it's falling, you panic. But if you look at the whole thing and you just ride the storm, it'll come up again. But you've got to be so patient and so focused and so strong, and the brokers will tell you, sell now! And you'll say, I've lost half my money if I sell now! I can't sell! Oh, better to lose half. So you panic. And more than often you make the wrong choices. So you have to really be focused. And I laughed and I said, that's exactly what we talk about in yoga. Balance of the mind, equanimity of mind, don't drown now, see the bigger picture. It's an illusion anyway. So, and then that was at the end of his life and my life. It was like a joining together of minds he was coming from the world of finance and I was coming from the world of fine arts and spirit. But we were meeting in the middle. And this could only happen because I made peace with my God. If I did, I would want to be right all the time. My way is the only way. Because as human beings, we tend to do this. We tend to, yes, it is in a way the only way, because peace is the only way. But you have to apply peace to everything. Everything you are going through. I prefer my peace. I prefer my peace. So if this person disturbs my peace, walk away. If you lose 10 friends, doesn't matter. I got 100 more new ones that are full of peace and love and joy. No big deal. But peace is my way. Oh, Nalanie, you're so old-fashioned. You're so simple. Thank you. Peace is my God. Do you see how you can do it? You take nothing offensively. Because they teach you that's what you don't want. You don't want the disturbance. You don't want the nonsense. You don't want the nastiness. You don't want all these things in your life. You don't want that. And it's a very strong decision and a very powerful decision. And once you make that decision, you really do find God. You really find God in peace. And then only then can you understand the power of now. You cannot be in the now without peace. You cannot. With all the attachments, with all the desires, you cannot. But don't punish yourself. Just know it will take time. Sri Patanjali tells us. What does he tell us? For a long time. Without a break. And with all your heart. He tells us. Don't worry about it. He also tells us when you're in disease, dullness, doubt, you will lose ground gain. He warns us, watch out for laziness, carelessness. These are all signs that you're losing the ground you gain. Watch out for your breathing. Watch out for your nervousness. Notice these signs and get back to peace. He makes it so clear. He gives us all watch out. This is it. I'm laying it at your feet. These are your tools. Don't wait till it's too late. And you will feel like you will fall again and again and again. But it's okay. This is normal until you reach the crest of the mountain. Not before. The journey is fun. But you make peace, my God. All right? What's your God?
Peace.
What's your God? Yes.
Peace.
And if you look at Gurudev's face or Jesus' face or Goddess Lakshmi, whatever you want, and it makes you feel peaceful, for heaven's sake, don't stop using it. If your religion can help you get there, that's what it was originally meant for. Don't stop using it. If looking at Jesus' face makes you so happy, keep using it all the time. Keep it in your pocket. Put it everywhere you want. So every time you see that, you're reminded of it. We put photographs. There's a story about this king, and many years, when Swami Vivekananda, Swami Vivekananda went to America. He was one of the first ones to bring yoga to the West. And he was invited to the World Parliament of Religions. And anyway, he was invited to somebody's house, and he had the picture of his guru with him. And somebody asked, why do you have pictures of your guru everywhere? Why do you have pictures everywhere? What is this? Is it, you think your guru is a god or whatever? And he goes back to the person and he goes, how come you have the picture of your parents everywhere? Your children everywhere? You love them, don't you? He goes, yes, of course I love them. Same. What's the difference? Do you see? Same. I love my guru. When you love someone, you put a picture once I met a disciple of Gurudev's in England. Really, he loved Guru. He said when he went searching, he went to all the traditions, he went to India, he went to the Far East, although couldn't find somebody he could relate to, and he met Gurudev. And I was sitting in a car, he was leaving me to a train station, and then he goes, you know, he took out from his glove compartment a picture of our master, and he put it there. I said, oh, that's lovely. He said, yeah, I take it out every time somebody who doesn't understand it comes in my car, because he worked for a big company. And I go, really? He said, yeah, when they come to my car, I just take the photo and put it away. I said, you know this story, Swami Vivekananda? Why are you embarrassed? What kind of disciple do you call yourself? Oh, Gurudev gave me everything, and then as soon as somebody who doesn't understand, you hide it away. I said, is that real faith? So, real faith is real faith. There are no halves. There's no halves. When you do halves with life, you cannot have full peace and you cannot have full faith. You are neither here, you are neither there. If you have faith, you have faith. Nothing frightens you. You don't care what people say. Oh, strange. You're in a strange sect? Fine, that's your business. You want to ask me questions? Great. You don't want to ask me questions? No need to say anymore. Don't let them insult you. You say, oh, I love my master. He gave me the best knowledge ever. Even you can't get this knowledge from schools and this, I would tell people who ask me about Gurudev. And I go, yeah, I'm weird, because I'm so in love with him. That's why he's everywhere. I feel he protects me and I feel he protects everyone. Wonderful. And they always laugh. And then at the end, many people will say, do you have a photograph of your master? Can I have one? You see, when you are not ashamed of anything and you have total faith, it moves people. But when you try and hide things, hide your faith. Do not hide your light under the bushel, said Lord Jesus. Try to hide things. It shows that you're ashamed, or you have disease, dullness, you have doubt. You have doubt. You have doubt. If you have doubt, things don't work for you. Because the flow is what? Peace. When you have doubt, you are not in peace. That's why my master said in the very beginning, he said, the first years you start yoga and this spiritual work, the first years, ask all the questions. Don't have blind faith. Because that's not based on the highest. You question, you question, you question, you question. And there comes a point, no more. Once you've got your answers, then no more questioning. And now have total faith and practice, practice, practice. No more questioning. Because you can question for the rest of your life. And how many people have I seen do that? One course, in any tradition, in anything. One course, another course, another course, another course, another course. They become no good at anything. And they get more nervous. The more intelligence they use, the less peace they have. How many yoga teachers are so troubled in their mind because they think they have to know it all. And this is not possible to know everything in this mind. How many books are there in the libraries in the world? Will you ever get to know? That means you'll never know peace in your life? Because you want to be smarter than everybody else? Do you see? You get yourself trapped. No peace. And that's how I decided, what do I want? Peace. If I go to this conference where everybody's trying to show off about how clever they are, I lose my peace. That's their choice. I lose my peace. So I won't go. I stay home and maintain my peace. Do you see? That's how I make decisions. Does it mean I'm fearful? No, I just can't be bothered. We went to a few. We've been to a few. The last one was brilliant, though.
Yeah, it was brilliant.
The last one was brilliant. I mean, there were some egos there, but there were some just wonderful souls. When I went to the World Peace Day in Portugal, it was, great thinkers from all walks, doctors, different walks of life, all talking about the benefits of yoga and world peace. So I met some incredible human beings. So the world is changing. It's much better now. And nobody's trying to be smarter than anybody else. everybody knows what they want and everybody learns from everyone. Now we become so rich in our knowledge. And then you stay your peace. 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 Better to be peaceful than to be right was another one I learned. Of course, if it is something that stretches your spirit and takes away the truth from you, then you have to fight a battle. But for little things that I see people argue with this glass, I put it here and you put it there. Oh. Do you know what? Fine, I put it here. It's not worth the fight. Little things, don't bother. Just do it. Just say yes. Really, they're so unimportant. So unimportant. Only keep your energy. If you have to fight for things that are really worthwhile, that will shift you, that will shift the world in a higher place. Never bring yourself to a lower place of argument. Never make yourself small. Doesn't matter. Okay, you want that? Good. I had that idea. No, you had that idea. You know what? Let it be yours. Makes you happy? It's your idea. Good. Let me celebrate. It's your idea. Then the person will come to you and say, you know, Nalanie, really, it was your idea. It doesn't matter. It's yours, mine, yours. It's all the same. Do you see? They themselves start to realize the truth. And if they don't, it's okay. Does it really matter? So long as you maintain your peace. So make peace your God. Got it? It made it very easy for me when I heard those words. It just made God so easy, so uncomplicated. So it doesn't matter what he or she looks like, if it gives it to me, I'm there. I'm there. And being in this gathering gives me peace. I'm there all the time, and you guys always give me peace. I'm very blessed to know you, so I'm always here. If I'm not traveling, I'm always here on a Tuesday, because you give me peace. Why do you give me peace? Because you want peace. Because that's your goal deep in your heart, that I know, I can feel it, the sincerity, the zeal. I can feel it. So just by you wanting it, it's like electricity attracts each other, like a magnet. We're energy. Like I said, this is not ours. It's not mine. This is not mine. Is it yours? You can leave it all behind. You can leave it all behind. Everything, this, not mine. The house, not mine. Leave it all behind. All alone. When you have the attachment, it is difficult. It is difficult because if you think it's yours, there's no peace. I'd like to read to you something Lord Krishna tells us in chapter 2, sloka 72, in the Gita as well. Well, I'll start from sloka 70. No, maybe I start from 66. And so every time I read a sloka, I go, you can see I look really, every time I see, oh, I like this, and I like this, and I like this. And he goes, 66, chapter 2, the Yoga of Wisdom, it's called. There is neither wisdom nor meditation in an always changing mind. There is neither wisdom nor meditation in an always changing mind. Without a meditative, one-pointed mind, there is no peace. And without peace of mind, how can anyone be happy? What seems night to others is the state of awakening for one mind with a mind thus disciplined. Sorry, I said that all wrong. What seems night to others is the state of awakening for one with a mind thus disciplined. And what appears day to others is as night to the sage who knows the self. Here it's just saying that to a person who doesn't know the self, what you say will be like night to them. They won't understand because they don't know the self. And what is night to you is day to somebody else. So when you have this knowledge and you have this peace, sometimes people find it very difficult to understand. Don't expect them to understand. Because it's so strange for them. They see things so totally different. For all of us on the spiritual path, we have lots of experiences. We have visions, we see the miracles. In the teacher training, diploma course, when you all spoke about truth and the sincerity, did you see how one thing after another just flowed? Each talk became so truthful and there was an energy. How do you explain this to somebody who's not here? You cannot explain that love and that energy. They'll think you're talking double Dutch. Say, come here, you'll feel it, but they'll never know it if they haven't been there. They haven't been in that energy of truth. But all of us who were in that energy of truth felt something really vibrant happening. So we get all these different experiences that other people cannot understand. And it says, someone with now look at this, personal desires will not experience true peace. But when all desires merge like different rivers flowing into the vast deep ocean, then peace is easily realized. By personal desires, well, he explains it further, so let me just finish reading it and then let him explain it to you. Peace is experienced by anyone who lives without longing for anything, free of all personal desires, and with no individual sense of me and mine. This, Arjuna, is the absolute state. On experiencing it, there are no further questions. If established in this awareness, at the time of bodily death, there is just the merging into the oneness of God. So, in other words, make peace your
God.
Do you see? Now watch your minds. Whenever you, I have to have, longing, I have to have this. How do you feel?
Disturbed. Disturbed. When you're longing for something, you feel disturbed.
Yes, disturbed. Disconnected. And if you watch your mind, when you have no peace, it's always that. When I read this, I started studying my mind. Start to study your mind, all the things that you want so desperately can't have. How do you feel? Excuse my throat. This is why we talk about what? You're understanding it very deeply now? And that's why we also call, in Book 1, Book 2, Sutra 1, Sri Patanjali tells us, accepting pain for purification, study of spiritual books, and surrender to God is Kriya Yoga, is yoga in practice. So, the only way you can really surrender all these desires, forget about everything else in the world. Your own mind is the worst enemy you have. When you can surrender, and surrendering brings pain. You accept it. Normal. Because I'm surrendering my desire. I'm surrendering my desire. And what will help you? Reading spiritual books at this time. Because it'll keep your mind elevated so that you can accept the pain. And then you surrender. No other way. Then you have peace. Let go. I can't have it. I've fought, I've cried, I've screamed, I've begged, I've asked. Can't have it. You know what? Accept the pain and let go. And you can only let go when you make peace your world. What do you want more? Go through the pain and get the peace, rather than fight all your life and have no peace and only pain. By accepting pain, because you know the result of it, then you understand pain also. And this is why Sri Patanjali tells us in a sutra that I don't think many of you have studied yet. Pain that is yet to come is avoidable.
Is it?
Pardon?
You said?
Pain
Yeah.
that is yet
To come.
to come is avoidable.
Is it avoidable?
Is avoidable. You can avoid pain by making peace your God. And we'll finish off with this one question I have in the basket. Absolutely true. It's not a question, it's a statement. The kingdom of heaven is within. Absolutely. Thank you, whoever put that here. That is so totally true. You can't find it outside. I think all of us in this room have searched outside. I think we've tried to see if somebody else can make us happy. The home can make us happy. This can make me happy. That can make me happy. If I have so many millions, I would be happy. And we've all seen that hasn't happened. Look at all these people with millions. How poor Michael Jackson. Didn't you just love him to bits?
No,
You did love
No.
him? Really? Why, Mary?
because I thought he was a child molester.
I don't believe he was.
Well, they had quite verifiable facts, but anyway, that's just my impression.
Yeah, great. I don't think
That's apart from his talent.
Yeah, I think he was very unhappy. He was so unhappy. With all the millions, he didn't like his skin, he didn't like who he was, with all the millions, with all the talent.
He was recreating his own childhood.
Yes, he was, because he never had one. He never had one. And so he was exactly that.
But he had such strong messages, you know, in his music.
Yes.
Incredible.
Beautiful music, yeah.
Unbelievable.
Beautiful, because his soul was talking, but his mind, nobody taught him that all the problem was there.
But to watch him in his last movie that was made around his tour, and to see how he spoke with people and was around people, he was really connected to
His soul probably knew
high
he was.
levels.
He probably knew he was
Oh
going.
man.
So you know, this is so many people, you know, in this world we think have everything that will make them happy, and I see so few people happy. I see so few people peaceful, really peaceful, really walking through life with a smile on their faces, bad or good. They're smiling. This is why I say I'm really happy to be with you, because many of you, I always see, try to do your best, helping others, more peaceful than most of the world I know. More peaceful than most people I know out there. You may not think so, but I can guarantee you, with all the people I see all the time, you guys are much way ahead. Way ahead. Yes.
There is something I'd like to share with everybody. It's from Sunday evening. Tommy was in Bath, and he's not all there yet. He's a child, so I had to check if he was drowned or something. So he was playing with a little boat in the stream, and I opened the door, and he was shining in the bath and said, "I'm happy." And that sight and those words will stay with me for the rest of my life, because that was the purity of happiness, which I'd forgotten for some reason. So look at the children, you get the experience again.
Yes. And that's why Lord Jesus said, be like the children, they shall inherit the earth. They know how to enjoy the earth. They do. And we have children inside. We just have a grown-up body. But we're children inside. We're all children inside. We've just forgotten how to be children. We've forgotten how to be because we're told we have to behave a certain way. We don't know how to lighten up. Children, when they do something naughty, they do something. It's pure. Even the naughtiness is pure until they get to 7, and then they stop learning all kinds of things, you know? And they're good, they're good. It's kind of like the dog, right? They're so pure, right? They damage your thing, but they do it purely. It's not maliciously. There's no maliciousness in it, you know? It's just pure. Without any negative in it. Yes?
I was listening to Guru Dev speaking about happiness or something, and he had said, you know, it's your right, it's your birthright
Yes.
to be happy.
Yes.
And you're not put on this earth to suffer. It's not, that's your duty, is to suffer, which I realized that I was operating from that mentality to totally deny that right, which is, it's your birthright to be happy.
Yeah. It's your birthright to be happy. He used to say, why are you unhappy? He used to tell us. All the time. He used to make us laugh. Oh, it's your birthright to be happy. And then he would give this example, and I'll finish up with this example and we'll do a 5-minute meditation. He said, you all know this. You know, a husband tells his wife, darling, I love you. Darling, I love you. Darling, did you hear me? I said, I love you. It's probably the other way the wife tells the husband. I think, let's swap it around. He said the man, but I'll say the woman. And he doesn't answer. I said, you should know I do. She gets upset, angry. So is that love? Is that love? She loses her peace because he doesn't answer her back. He said, that's business. I say I love you, you say I love me, you love me back. It was very funny. And it was true, because in those days I was like so young, I used to do that. Darling, I love you. Darling, you never tell me you love me. You should know. And so of course when he told this story, I just couldn't stop laughing, you know. It was just so funny. It's so true. It's so true. We give our peace away so quickly. We give our peace away so quickly. For a word, for a nod, for this, for that. And we give our peace away. So make peace your garden. Don't give it away. It's ours. It's kingdom of heaven is within. Whoever wrote that is absolutely true. It's ours. It's here. It's here. And nobody can take it away. They can take everything else away from you. And that's what Lord Jesus did. You know, his death signifies that. They took everything away from him. Everything. Every dignity, beating him, putting him on the cross. But they couldn't take away his peace. What was his last one? My Father in heaven, they know not what they do. Forgive them. Forgive them. They know not what they do. He kept his peace by forgiveness. So when you're troubled and you're not sure which direction to go, it was such a thing. Peace. I used to do this. Point that. Peace. Peace. I used to see the word peace. When I used to get confused. Make that. It really helped me. It really. And then you read the Bhagavad Gita. Yes, I, me, mine. So when I was in, oh yes, but I really want this, Nalanie. I really want it. Well, then have it. Or don't have it, and be miserable. I used to talk to myself like that. You want to stay miserable? Do whatever you like. Or do you want peace? And you go, okay, I'll have peace. You know, you talk to yourself like this. And then it's like talking to God. It is like talking to God. I do want peace. Yeah, I have a short life on this earth. I want to enjoy it. I want to really live it. Don't you? Don't you want to live it? Don't you want to dance and listen to music and laugh and speak of nice things and read poetry and read the Gita or read whatever you like that uplifts you? Don't you want to live in that joy? Swadhyaya, Sri Patanjali tells us, Kriya Yoga, Swadhyaya, study of spiritual books, keeps you in that elevation of mind, keeps you elevated, keeps you joyful. Saying nice words keep you joyful. Staying away from anything that takes away your peace. Just stay away. You don't need it. You can do without it. So that is the talk for today. Make peace your God. And we will finish up with a little meditation. You just straighten your spine.